Hello and welcome to Craft with Me. This is Karen. Today we are going to make another beaded float cover for a glass float. The pattern that I'm going to use is going to be altered slightly. I have a pattern or video already on my channel titled How to Bead a Traditional Net Cover for Glass Floats. And in that video, it shows you how to do it in this net procedure with the in a flat, doing it flat. Today, I am going to show you how I did it, this pattern, but not flat. It will be beaded around the band, the top and bottom band as we, the top and bottom band as we bead, so that when you get to the end, all you have to do is close it up. So we're going to do that today, and I'm going to show you how to get started. So you need, for me, I figured I need 18 8-0 beads. So these are 18 8-0s. I mean, yeah, these are 8-0s. There's more than 18 there. We have some 11-0s in 3 colors, and then some, I believe these are 3mm bugle beads. And my color theme is coming from this bead that I found in a store, in a bead store. I think it's very colorful and cute. So how I'm starting this is I've already added 18 8-0s, and this is for the top band with a seed bead, an 11-0 seed bead between each 8-0 seed bead. And then you're just going to sew through the bottom where you started all the way up through those beads. Go through every bead. If you skip one, you'll want to take your needle out and thread and go back and make sure you go through every bead. Okay. Now I put this thread stop at the bottom of at the end of my beads, but you can also use just another bead to make a bead stop. So we have 18 beads, and again, this is the top band for our float cover. Okay, can take that off, and now I'm just going to tie a knot. I'm sorry if I'm working out of the screen. I'm just tying a knot, securing that circle together. Okay, I'm done with these for a few minutes. So now we are going to start making the net part of our float, and we're starting like on this, like on the end there. So we need 3 beads at the top, and I think I'm just going to do these in white. 3 beads, and then a bugle bead. And these are hard to see because they're clear. And then I'm going to alternate between blue, white, and blue, and a bugle bead, and red, white, red, and a bugle bead. And you just want to continue that I think until we have 11 bugle beads. So again, blue, white, blue, and a bugle bead, red, white, red, and a bugle bead. And you want to make sure that whatever size of float you're using, or if you're doing this for a ornament, that you use a odd number of bugle beads. Or if, for instance, you're using like a 6 mm bugle bead that's longer, you won't use as many, but you'll still want to have an odd number. We have 6 so far. This is 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. So let's make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and I made a mistake there, so I'm going to have to take that off and fix it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now I'm just going to make sure that I think that will fit right now it looks like it's might be too big, but I think once you get started doing this, that this will end up being the right size. On this one, I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah. So now we want to add 3 white ones. And then we're going to make the bottom band. And the bottom band I want bigger than the top band, wider around. So I'm going to pick up an 8/0, an 11/0, and 11/0. Let's see. And then another 8/0. And you can do whatever color theme you want. I'm just trying to use colors that will go with this guy. And again, we want 18 of the white 8/0s and 18 repeats of the 2 11/0s. The reason I like to use 8/0s on the bands is because that's where the tassels are going to hang from and the hanger that we're going to make. And the 8/0s are just bigger and I think more sturdy. There's my red one. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18. Okay, let's make sure we have 18. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We need one more. Ending with the 11/0s. Okay, those are we're done with for now. Okay, so now just like we did for the top, we're going to sew through this band again that we just made. Okay. I seem to have a knot here. Sorry, I'm not sure how this got to be such a big knot. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. So just pull that until it's nice and tight. And then what I did to hold it closed was I went up into these beads, go one or two, pull it, and then skipping this first bead, sew down through that big white bead and pull your string through. Okay? So now we have our bottom band and the top band, and we've started our net. So now what we're going to do is we're going to sew down through these white beads. Pull your thread through. Pick up a bugle bead. Okay. And then you're going to repeat your 11-0 patterns in the middle. So we're going to pick up a red, white, red, and then another bugle bead and a blue. Okay. So we have a bugle bead, 3 11-0s, red, white, red, a bugle bead, and 1 blue 11-0. Pull that through to the end. And we're going to sew through this middle white bead right here in the middle. You're always going to sew through the white bead in the middle, skipping every other section. Okay. Okay. So a finished intersection will have 5 beads. So we're going to finish this intersection next with a blue 11-0. So that's your first bead. and you're going to pick up your bugle bead, a red, white, red, that's this section, and then another bugle bead, and one blue bead. So you've got blue, bugle, red, white, red, bugle, blue, or whatever color you're using. You're going to skip this section of beads and go to the next white bead between the blue beads. Like that. Okay. This is looking like a very patriotic colors. So again, we're going to close up this intersection, picking up a blue bead, a bugle, red, white, red, bugle, and a blue bead. So through the middle white bead between the two blue beads in the next section. And do the same thing, blue, bugle, red, white, red, bugle, and blue. And so through that white bead between the two blue beads, a blue, a bugle, a red, white, red, a bugle, and a blue. And again, through the white between the two blues. Okay, so we're at the end of that row. And what we're going to do now is we're going to finish off this intersection picking up a blue bead. Sorry. We're going to finish this intersection picking up a blue bead, and then a bugle bead, and then 3 white beads, because we're going to start another line. Okay, so I got a blue bead, a bugle, and 3 whites. So to start that next row, we're going to sew into this next white bead. So I sewed into that next white bead on the band. Okay, now we're going to sew back down through those 3 11-ohs. Okay. And now we're going to pick up a bugle bead. And then we'll do a blue, white, blue. So this row is just the opposite of the last one. A bugle bead, and this time a red bead. 1 red bead. So bugle, 3 11-ohs, bugle, 1 11-oh. And this time we're going to skip this one because this intersection's finished. and sew into the white middle bead between the two red beads. Now when you're making these, you don't have to use two colors here. You can use three of the same color if you want. I like using two colors with the middle bead a different color because it makes it easier to see which bead you have to sew through when you're doing this. So now we're going to pick up a red bead to finish off this intersection. Pick up a bugle bead. And then your blue, white, blue, another bugle bead, and one red bead. Skipping this and going into the next white bead between the two red beads. Okay. Pick up a red bead, bugle bead, blue, white, blue. You might see me discarding beads as I go because I kind of want them to all be sort of the same size because some are smaller than they're supposed to be, I think. They're not all uniform. So red, bugle, blue, white, blue, bugle, red. Skip this finished bugle section and sew into the white bead between the two red beads. And you're just going to continue this until you make a net big enough to go all the way around your float or ornament, whatever you're doing this on for. Now I find it easier to hold this while I'm working on it. Oops. Now see, I wasn't paying attention and we're at the end, so we're gonna take those off because we're at the end. So you're gonna finish off with one red and a bugle bead and 3 whites. Okay. So we're finishing off that intersection, and now we're at the end of our row. So we've got our 1 bugle bead and 3 white beads, and we're going to sew up into our band through the next big 8-0. So back down through those 3 white beads. And start the next row with a bugle bead, red white, red, a bugle bead, and this time we're doing the blue row again. So we're going to skip that intersection, it's finished, and sew into the white between the blues. Okay. Try not to get your thread all tangled up. And we're at the end of the row again. Picking up the blue, bugle, and 3 white beads to start our next row. Sew into that next white bead at the top band. Oh, somehow we lost a bead. Okay, we sewed through that next white 8-0. Sew down through those 3 11-0s that we just added. Start with a bugle bead, a blue, white, blue, a bugle, and this round a red. And we're just going to continue this all the way around. And again, we're at the end of the row. Picking up one red. Come on, bugle. 3 bugles and 3 whites. 1 bugle and 3 whites, sorry. And sew through that next white 8-0. Okay, sew back down through those white beads. And continue this until you get all the way around. Okay, so welcome back. I have sewn all the way around through the last bead. And now we're ready to put this on the ball and close it up. So I've got a ball here, a glass float. And so it looks like this. I had to add more thread, so I'm going to finish this row. And then I had to add more thread, so I'm going to finish this row, and then we'll add, then this last row will connect the 2 sides together. So Let me get back up. Need to go through this red bead and through the white bead. And then to get down where I started, I'm going to sew down through these beads. Oops. I should have sewn down through these beads and got ready before I turned on the camera. Okay, down through that white bead. Well, sew through the red bead.